Hey students, what's up? Mrs. Loy here with another writing workshop. Today, we're going to talk about making inferences, specifically on the making inferences chart that you got when you started reading The Telltale Heart. I want to focus on our evidence tracking today, making connections, and then ultimately getting you to make an inference about the narrator in The Telltale Heart. Is he mad or is he sane? I don't know. Let's dive into it. Okay, so just a quick review before we jump in. Making inferences and deciding on the sanity of a person within the text is going to take a 5-step process. We're going to have to make sure we read and view the text. We're already up through lines 95 in the text, so we need to finish reading that today. Then we're going to read the question that goes along with what we're setting out to accomplish. We need to then list the relevant details. You probably already have some listed on the back side of this sheet. So we're going to continue that today. We're going to start to put the details together today by making those connections. And then lastly, we're going to determine what they mean. This is the most important part of our step today. It's where we're going to create our inference, and that inference is going to lead us to writing our claim for our next literary analysis. Let's get started. Now you'll see that I've already started gathering my evidence. If you were reading lines 1 through 95, you may have gathered some of the same text evidence that I have around mine. You probably also have some evidence that goes up all the way around the head. So what I want to do now is after I've finished the story, which you guys should go ahead and finish that, you should come back and start to make connections between the different pieces of evidence that you have. So my question is the narrator in The Telltale Heart mad or sane? So what I need to do is just go through and evaluate my evidence. This first one says, I heard all things in heaven and in the earth. That sounds like somebody who might think that their hearing is really good, like they might be mad. Because not everybody can hear things in all the earth and all the heaven and all the hell. I loved the old man. He had never wronged me. Well, that sounds like somebody who might be sane. I made up my mind to take the life of the old man and thus rid myself of the eye forever. Wow, I'm going to go ahead and classify that piece of evidence as being mad. The old man's hour had come. With a loud yell, I threw open the lantern and pulled the heavy bed over him. Notice my use of the ellipse here because I took some information out. That's definitely going to make him a little bit mad. You should have seen how wisely I proceeded, with what caution, with what foresight. That sounds like somebody who's really putting some thought into their ideas. So I'm going to categorize that as being sane. So when you're doing your own evidence, I think madness and sanity should be the two things that you're making connections to. If you see other connections between the text, go ahead and make those. After we've evaluated all of our evidence, we need to go ahead and make our inference. So if I'm looking at this, I see that I have 3 pieces of evidence that lead me to him being mad, and 2 pieces of evidence leading him to being sane. And because I always like a challenge, I'm going to say that my inference is that the narrator in The Telltale Heart is sane. Now that I've made my inference, I need to go back and plug it in to my CER chart. Let's do that. All right, so now I have my CER template pulled up, and I have my making inferences sheet handy with me. So now that I have my inference, I need to go ahead and turn that into a claim. If you remember from our lesson in class, there's a couple of things that go into our claim. The title of the text, the author's name, the author's full name, and of course, the claim or the inference we are setting out to prove. So I want to start this very similarly to my From Beyond the Grave paragraph. So I'm going to start by saying, in The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe, the narrator is, and here's where you guys get to be creative. So I'm just going to leave that right there for you guys in red. Once you've created that inference, this CER chart will need to be uploaded to the Canvas assignment. Hope you guys had a good time hanging out today and working on our CERs. Go forth and continue making inferences.